Hello everybody and welcome back to my F1 23 My Team Career Mode journey. First off then, Japan, well, it was just a race of pain. We had an early collision with Logan Sargent that left us with a puncture and a broken front wing. And the race in the end just wasn't worth showing you. It was me potting around by myself for the most part. We were able to claw back to P11, but in the end it was just race of pain. But there's the results. Russell won it, Drugovich was second, Gasly third, and that means to say that Pierre Gasly now closes in the championship and is within 3 points. And the top 5 are within 24 points. So anyone in the top 5, realistically, still has a shot at the title. So who's it going to be? Is it going to be me? Is it going to be Gasly? Is it going to be Verstappen, Russell, or Drugovich? Put your predictions in the comments box below for who you think will be the World Drivers' Champion. At the moment, Mercedes are leading the Constructors, but we leave Suzuka on a sore note and hoping to do better in the next race, which is the American Grand Prix at Austin, round 14. 3 races to go in the title, and I've also come to the announcement here that there will be a season 4. I know I previously announced that this would be the final season, but we will do a season 4 of career mode. However, there will be a few changes to the format. So keep your eyes peeled because they will be announced at the beginning of Season 4. Right, Q1, Felipe Drugovich, top the timesheets. Q2, I'm pushing to try and do the same. And this is also a sprint weekend, so there are more points available here. It means it's critical to do well in the sprint, because a bad sprint can really put you off kilter for the entire weekend. But so far we are looking good and we are qualifying P2 in Q2, and I just need to find an extra little something to get that pole position. Drugovich is looking so strong here. Now he's got the sniff of the title. He's really going for it, so I'm really having to push that extra bit to keep up with Drugovich, and we are really looking good on this lap. This lap is looking really solid. Leclerc and Sainz currently 6th and 7th in the 2 Ferraris, and we now sweep round this right-hander, pushing as hard as I dare. The glow of the sunset in my face as I turn into the penultimate corner, and we're now heading into the last corner, slightly wide of the apex, but I get the throttle down as early as I dare. And is it pole position? Yes, it is. The perfect start to a long weekend here at Austin.
Finished, it's time to remind ourselves once again of our top 3. Sparkles, Drugovich and Pierre Gasly. With qualifying wrapped up now, we have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic... It's wet here today and we're expecting those downpours to continue. This will be a sprint for all the teams. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Sparkles lines up on pole position, and Felipe Drugovich completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Russell, Perez, Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris, Ocon, Magnussen, Théo Pourchaire, Bottas, Stroll, Joe, Albon, Tsunoda, De Vries, Hulkenberg, Liam Lawson, Oscar Piastri and Logan Sargent. And they've been involved in a number of costly incidents lately.
Right then, P1, pole position for 10 laps of this Austin sprint. The conditions are damp but not wet enough for inters, and we are away, and Drugovich really is not away. So we've got an absolutely superb launch into turn 1. leading the way, but I'm trying to find where the grip is. Sergio Perez is in second, then it's Gasly and Russell who are following behind, but at the moment I'm just trying to find the grip and not spin round. Oh, we got a bit deep there. It's a tough one, this one, in these conditions, but so far leading the way here at Austin and just beginning to pull out a little gap. George Russell has moved himself up into second through all that, so Russell is the other driver finding the grip, and Leclerc seems to be finding some grip as well, up to fifth. So Drugovich has had an awful start, dropping out of the top 5 as I run a little deep towards the end of lap 2, but now we're completing lap 2 and the grip is very scarce. And speaking of scarce, is that Drugovich coming to a stop? It is! Felipe Drugovich has stopped, and could that put an end to his part in the title fight? It certainly looks that way at the moment. We are pulling away from George Russell at this stage of the race, so we found some grip, but Russell is clawing back at us towards the end, so Russell has clearly found more confidence and speed, and I just don't have it, and now I'm defending, which means I'm going to lose more time, and that's going to allow Gasly, Perez and Leclerc to catch up. Look how wobbly I am out of the corner. The Mercedes is clearly the fastest car at this stage of the season. Mercedes have found something pretty special, and I'm trying to hold on just to George Russell, but Russell's still hanging in there. He is not going to let this one go easy. Down the long straight, he's still right there, 0.3 of a second with DRS. Is he going to attack? No. We've used up enough overtake to keep him behind, and by the end of lap 10, we held on to the pressure, and it is a sprint race win. So a nice way to start the weekend, the best way to start the weekend, championship-wise, and this puts us nicely in the pound seat for the full-length Grand Prix. And Valtteri Bottas is driver of the day somehow. I don't know what he did. I didn't see anything of Bottas. But the results of the sprint race are just about loading now, and we took a very fine win there. That's exactly how you want to start a sprint weekend. George Russell is second, Pierre Gasly is third, Perez, Leclerc, Norris and Sainz are your top 7, and Bottas moving up to 8, doing a solid job there. And then it's the 2 Aston Martins rounding out the 10. Max Verstappen had a shocker as well, and we're going to find out what happened to him soon. But that's what it does for the championship standings. It moves me 5 points ahead now. Russell and Verstappen 14 and 15, and Drugovich just drifting out of contention now. So 5 become 4 of the title contenders, but we are still very much in it, and I tell you what, anyone could still win it. It changes race by race, but at this stage of the season, Mercedes just have the car right where they want it, and I'm really fearing their race pace moving forward into the Grand Prix. So, highlights from the sprint then from the AI. This is Nick de Vries having some kind of issue. I didn't actually see what the issue was, whether it was a puncture or not, but he had that issue. Zhou Guanyu going round, just not finding any grip himself, and that would not be the only spinner of the day, because Max Verstappen is also going to have a drama. Here he is catching up to Leclerc. He puts the throttle down for the first corner, and round it goes. And Max is going to have a horrible time trying to recover that. He is reversing out, and, well, here he goes. But he's already lost a lot of positions, and that's really put him in a much less than ideal place for the main event.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin in the great state of Texas. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Sparkles lines up on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Perez, Leclerc, Norris, Sainz, Théo Pourchaire, Ocon, Verstappen, Magnussen, Albon, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Sargent, Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri, Joe, De Vries, Liam Lawson, and Felipe Drugovich. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And now...
It is the US Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. What is going to happen here? Let's find out. We are underway and we've got a very good start. Russell also away well, but look at Gasly from the second row. It's Pierre Gasly that's made the brilliant start, and Gasly banging wheels with us into turn one as I try and go up the inside. Gasly still side by side with me here. Two championship contenders, a wheel to wheel, and Gasly forcing me off there. And Pierre Gasly leads the US Grand Prix. And with the pace that Mercedes has, I fear he is just going to run away at this stage. Pourchaire also having a look up the inside. He started quite... He's made a great start, hasn't he, as Théo Pourchaire. Lando Norris is in fifth, and I believe Carlos Sainz is right behind him at the moment in P6. But we're now setting up an overtake on Sergio Perez. There's a yellow flag back there. I think that's just where they're going very slowly to figure themselves out. But now we're going to the outside to try and overtake Sergio Perez. Is he going to be easy to pass? Not quite, but we're going to hang him here. And we're going to we've got the inside for the next right-hander, and we have got P2. And if we're going to attack Gasly, we need to try and stay within that 1 second range for DRS. Otherwise, he's just going to romp away down the road. So try and stay with Gasly now, all the while keeping an eye on Perez behind, just making sure he's not right there. And we do have the gap down, but we need to keep it there. Keep Gasly with us for another half a lap or so and get that DRS, and we might have a chance at having a go. But in reality, Gasly is just too fast, and he's already 3.5 seconds up the road, and my soft tyres just don't feel good anymore. Right now, Perez is having him look back for seconds, so the Red Bull is pretty quick here as well. Our pace here is just not as fast as that of Mercedes, and at the end of lap 8, Gasly's pulled out 8 seconds. I did make a couple of small mistakes though that cost me about a second apiece, and at this point I decided to pit in, and we're going to try and take a 2-stop strategy and make it work. So we're going on to the medium tyres here, and I'm going to try and make a 2-stop work. It could work or it could go bust. But either way, what it essentially allows me to do is just go absolutely ham and try and bring down the gap to Gasly. So that's what we're going to do. We're out in P18, I think we're going to be. Hopefully we can edge ourselves ahead of Hulkenberg, which we do by just bumping him a little bit out of the way. And already we're trying to pass Logan Sargent. And after the fact that we had the unseen incident with him in Japan, I don't want to be messing with him. But down the inside we go. We've got past Sargent, and now it's time to just enjoy some DRS on Albon. Try and get past him as quickly as we can. We did that. Up next now, we've got a little bit of traffic. We've got our teammate Felipe Drugovich, who we're going to go right round the outside of here. This is one of the bravest overtakes I've attempted, but it works. We're ahead of Drugovich. And next up, we've got Ocon and Norris. Norris seems to be very slow at the moment, so that's going to help us. Norris really not with the pace at the moment. Look how slow the McLaren is down the straight. We're going to go 3 wide here as we try and get past both Ocon and Norris. We managed to make the move work. We did bump Norris slightly wide, but the move is done. And next up is Magnussen and Verstappen. So we've caught up to one of our championship contenders there in Verstappen. Don't forget, he started on the medium, so Verstappen is running long. We're about to pass Magnussen here. Magnussen's going to defend, but I'm going to switch to the outside, brake a little bit later, sweep round, and overtake the McLaren. Magnussen demoted a place there as we now chase after Verstappen and Pourchaire. But I do believe Pourchaire will be in the pit soon. Right, we are on the back of Max Verstappen now. Gasly is coming out of the pits. Look how much the undercut has worked. Gasly is just in front of us, and he's gone into Verstappen. Gasly has hit Verstappen, and I'm pretty sure that's bodywork that's come off the Mercedes. It is. The end plate of the front wing has come off of Pierre Gasly. Surely he's going to have to make a pit stop, or he's going to lose an absolute boatload of time. Drama here, as Pierre Gasly, who was literally 5 points off me in the championship, has to change his front wing, and that is going to cost him. Meanwhile, we're back on the rear of Sergio Perez. We go a little bit deep there trying to pass him, but we're now going to go for an up and under around the outside of this section. And this is another brave overtake. Ooh, we just make that work, and we retake the lead of the race, which is good going, but we do have another pit stop to make. And when we do pit in, and bearing in mind that Perez also has to pit, he's on the tyres he started on, Carlos Sainz is going to lead the race. Charles Leclerc is in second. George Russell now moves up to third. We're going to be, I think, P4. Nope, we're P5 behind Théo Pourchaire. And we've gone on to hard tyres. Now, I realised that we used up the medium tyres in the sprint race, and we've had to take on hards here. But you know what? I feel like we have good enough pace to perhaps challenge some of the guys ahead. So first things first, let's try and close in on Pourchaire, which is what we're doing now. And I think we should be able to take the Aston Martin relatively easy, and then we're going to try and close in on George Russell in front. It might be a tall order, but we're going to give it a best shot at this stage of the race. Round the outside of Pourchaire, and we've got that move done up into P4. And now we're chasing down George Russell. Do I think it's going to happen, though? I'm doubtful. Leclerc is right behind Sainz, and Russell is right behind Leclerc. So the front three are pretty much all together, and I'm trying to close in on them, but I just do not have enough laps to do it in. It is just going to be too tall an order at this stage of the race. So we're just going to have to settle and accept P4. Gasly is fifth on the soft tyre. He is pretty quick, but I do think that that tyre might wear out before the end of the race, so I'm not too worried about him. But we're looking very safe for P4. We do even have a 3-second time penalty now. But the front three are together. Leclerc has been right behind Sainz all race, but I think Ferrari have said hold position. There is a lot of traffic that they've reached now, so I wonder if that's going to have any impact in where they are in relation to us. I don't think it is. It looks like they're having fun with it, though. I'm trying to push hard just to see if there is anything in doing here, because especially at this sector, a lot of time can be lost. And look at that, we've already gained a second on Russell. We're now down to 3.4 seconds, but even if we were to get ahead, we'd still have to pull out that 3-second gap. So, I mean, it was a nice sport, but it's the final lap. You're not going to do anything. There's nothing in doing now. We're going to come round the last corner, and it's Carlos Sainz, the smooth operator, who wins the US Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc gets second, and it's P4 for us. Okay, not too bad, really.
That's it then for another magnificent United States Grand Prix. And they've hung on to take a sublime victory here today. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Back in 2022, the new regulations came in with a promise of more wheel-to-wheel racing. That's exactly what we got today, and that has been the trend ever since their inception. Long may it continue.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. Sparkles increases
What a
their
drive
championship
then
lead.
for
And
Carlos
after this round of the
Sainz
World
to take the
Championship,
win
here's how
here,
things look
using
in
that
the driver's
strategy
table.
brilliantly.
So then, Natalie Pinkham,
Ferrari
who
doing
would
a
you
brilliant
rank as your
strategy.
driver
What
of the
universe
day?
is this?
Carlos
George
Sainz
Russell
will be my
then
first
getting
choice for
third,
this race. He
Leclerc
had
finishing
excellent
second,
race
making it a
stamina,
Ferrari
giving him the
1-2.
opportunity to
We
charge
could
through the
only do
race.
P4 with
It's time
our
to see how
strategy.
things are
Gasly
shaping
is
up in the
fifth,
Constructors'
Drugovich
Championship.
recovers to
Mercedes
sixth,
continue to
determined to
extend
stay
their
in the
lead.
title fight.
After an
Verstappen
event
and
like
Perez
that,
7th
who
and
knows
8th,
what the
and then
sport
it's the
has
two
in store for us
McLarens
next time out.
rounding
Be sure
out
to join
the
us
top
once again
10,
as we
which
continue
means to
bring
say
you
that
all the
in the
excitement of
championship,
Formula One.
it's still getting very interesting. Russell is closing in. Gasly doing some brilliant damage limitation to finish one place behind us. Only 7 points away. Russell is 11 points. Verstappen 21. Drugovich 36. But with 2 race meetings to go, I fear that that might be the end of Drugovich's campaign. But I would hope that he would support us moving forward. Also, I think Verstappen might just be out of contention now. But here's the thing. We could wrap this all up in Brazil, depending on how it goes. But I don't think we will. I think it will go down to the final race in Las Vegas. But yeah, it's been a great title fight. And it is going down to the last 2 races. Who will take it? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. And until the next time, TTFN. But first, let's have a look at the key moments from this Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz then getting ahead of Lando Norris. Well, he's defending from Leclerc actually, so I feel like it's a defensive move that became an attack on Norris. Sainz going up to 5th, and I feel like that's the moment, when he got past Norris, that's the moment that really helped him win the race, and he's going to be passing Théo Pourchaire here for P4. Look, there's me trying to defend from Perez, and there's Sainz having a go at Pourchaire for 4th. Around the outside he goes. Car number 55, smooth operator, smoothly moving up to P4. But the defining moment was here. This is where Pierre Gasly threw away what would have been a certain victory by clattering into Verstappen in the pit exit. Thank you for watching, guys. Join me next time. TTFN, ta-ta for now. Take care.